Kavan, brave souls. This is your GM in the Great Barrier. We are here for Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. Come in for part 2 of today's episode, Chal, DISovjaj. So, before we get started, just a couple programming notes. First and foremost, if you haven't already checked it out, I believe Modiphius has dropped their Star Trek Adventures 2nd edition. Feel free to get a look at that. They have been working to refine the new Star Trek Adventures engine. I will eventually be getting a hold of a copy myself, and I'm interested in seeing what they're doing. We're currently, of course, still playing a first edition game, and maybe in the future we'll look to tweak things. Maybe we'll keep it as is, or perhaps we'll do as several others do and just mix and match depending on what works. That's conversation for later, but we'll present you an entertaining experience right now. Or at least we will, just as soon as we give a few important other shout-outs for other things you can do when you're not here. One of those would be checking out the Twitch channel of our ship's engineer, Raldar, aka Caligo, aka Zyla OXO, who has been playing some Zenless Zone Zero, among other things, on top of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign and other variety streaming. How's all that going over there, Caligo?
I should publicly execute 3 of my 5 players.
Very good, very good. Hopefully not for their out of game contact, and particularly as it goes to redeem abuse.
That adds to it. More of the fact that they just didn't show up without telling me.
Ah, yes, truly the worst things. Well, I wish you luck there, and executions are swift and merciless, as they're all deserved. Be polite to your GMs; they do a lot of hard work. Speaking of fellow GM and another channel that I definitely steer you towards, we have our own Joe, the OverlandGamer. Joe, how is it going?
It's going quite well. Happy Intergalactic Friendship Day, as they are celebrating over on the Star Trek and Doctor Who social network sites. Apparently they had a panel at San Diego Comic-Con that was pretty good. So, just working my way through some TTRPG writing and playing some Dragon Age over on my Twitch channel. So, yeah.
Very fun, very fun. And very nice to acknowledge the 2 very good Star Trek bits of news we got over this weekend. The general Intergalactic Friendship Day and the trailer for Season 5 of Lower Decks. Definitely watch that. And watch Prodigy if you haven't already. The only good news...
Lower Decks? Or... Fringe... Wait.
I said good news, Sean.
I thought Lower Decks was done.
Lower Decks has one more season coming out on the 29th of October, I believe. This, in the year of our, the Lord killed by the Klingons, 2024. So we have one more season. They actually, I shot a message to Mike McMahon about it because I loved what they did with the trailer. They did a direct reference to the teaser trailer of The Undiscovered Country, and I got a like from him first and foremost, so I think that he acknowledged it. It was nice. But let's see, yes, there is one more season of Lower Decks. It comes out in October, I think. Watch it when it comes, and yeah, that'll be all good. It'll be good. But yes, as I said, really the only good news on a Trek show that we got this past weekend. So yes, very good. Let's move right along to where we are, specifically where last we left off. The Jan has arrived in orbit of an unmapped pelagic world, one that is predominantly water. This is done at the Lord Tabok's request, as you are on a mission whilst also troubleshooting the Jan's repairs, having it undergo trials after a very light set of repairs and upgrades. The away team has, or rather a landing party, has arrived on an island where you have detected signs of what the captain is searching for, some sort of signal, that also half a dozen Klingons. The first team beamed down to the planet was originally meant to include the Tabok, Traven Lex, Chemok, the basically the present officer overseeing security, or person assigned to that task, Dar, the clone of your ship's engineer, and a new hire on the ship, one Lynn Nix. It was meant to also include the Doctor, Kresic, but he elected to apparently beam down elsewhere. The away team here has discovered signs of some sort of device that Tabok in particular uncovered, one that was meant apparently to relay the basically transmitted the signal Tabok was concerned with. Apparently whoever held it is elsewhere, so you are still searching for that right now. Elsewhere on the beaches, the Doctor beamed down with Raldar, Kelshaw, and Zional. The Doctor had beamed down to investigate one of the Klingons who the sensors show had just their life signs had dropped off. Seems that he'd suffered considerable injuries and stresses, wound up dying not too long before you arrived, although unfortunately he was too far gone even before you arrived, well before then. His presence here might have something to do with what lies under the waters in the distance. In particular, Raldar believes there to be, or sensors have shown that there is a bird of prey that has been crashed under the water, or otherwise set down, likely flooded. Raldar is going to see if he can restore that, along with Kelshaw. And then the ship's quartermaster, Zional, came down for his own purpose to investigate opportunities to acquire new goods, let's say. And the one thing he has managed to find from that is a broken medical-grade canister by the body. The one other thing noted around the body is a set of words that have been drawn into the sand, partly eroded, not completely finished, but that either spells out the Klingon words for to gain or acquire, or toxic. And I think that is where we will pick up here. And I'll say, I know last time where that we were going to follow on with the away team, but would we like a moment on the bridge, at least for just a quick check-in for Azek to make sure the teams are okay, or would you guys be more interested in anyone taking over in a particular position? How would you guys like to do you have any input here?
You can skip me and my group for a little while I try to figure out why I can't get into Roll20. It's not recognizing me at all. So I'm going to be off the table for a couple of minutes here while I try to figure this out.
And that's definitely a good reason to delay what was going to be my original plan. Let's take things up to the bridge just for a moment on the Jan, just to make sure that, just so that Azek can continue doing his duties as captain here. So let's see here. We shift up to the bridge, Azek, the complement of the ship is largely depleted at the moment, with many of the old crew who what you might know is considered on this ship the old hands or senior officers are largely down on the planet. From what you've gathered from your time here, Vopri is the other longest serving sort of person on the Yon, having been with it since the captain first launched it from its in its initial set of missions. From what you've picked up reading up on the journals. Of course, even if Vopri weren't here, and even if the Creel weren't around, you are never truly alone, because the ship apparently has picked up a computer program that, with its own bit of attitude, this Betty. So, standing over the bridge, Azek, any particular things you would want to check in on at the moment?
Let's do a sensor scan of orbit and see if there's anything notable up there beyond what we've already registered.
Understood. So, Vopri will conduct a sensor scan here. Just one moment. Let's see. So, he will roll Reason plus Science with his sensor operations focus. Would somebody care to roll for the ship with, I guess I would be, presuming that you are presuming you are looking for any hostile sort of warships, I would be willing to give you either sensors and science or sensors and security.
They're both the same, but let's go with security. That would be his go-to there.
Okay.
And ship task rolls are just one, right?
Yes. The ship gets a single D20, and Vopri has scored 2 successes. With the 1 from the ship, that means a total of 3 successes. So I will go ahead and assign you... I'll assign 2 points of momentum to you here. So, Joe, you can roll that at your leisure. I'll get that put on in the overlay.
I got it.
Yep. It's actually... the overlay total wasn't completely up to date. It looks as though you guys should be at 5 momentum, because you were at 3 as far as what the tally is in the chat here.
Yeah, not the accidental 20 or 100 or whatever we had last time, because I fat fingered something.
Yeah. Vopri looks over the sensors. Thankfully, as you would come to know, Klingon sensors, particularly on a tactical end, are very good at spotting things relevant for, like, tactical spacefaring, shall we say. They're good at keeping track of possible enemy ships. If anything shows up, at a certain point, it could probably tell you what shipyard it came out of if you were privy to that level of intelligence. It's all very useful. And Vopri's part says, Captain, immediate orbit appears to be clear. No signs of any other ships. I would, however, say I'm still getting a closer fix on the bird of prey. The Machla class that appears to have set down below the ocean floor. There is curious radiation interference still. Inaccurate wording. Radiation apparently tied to the ship, but there are other energy sources I cannot discern. I do not know exactly the nature of it.
looking at the outside of that ship, and this might require a momentum spend to answer this question. Does it look like it landed there, or did it crash there?
For a point of momentum, I would let you obtain that information. So, do you want to spend the Oh, yep. Okay.
Yeah, dropped it in there.
So, Vopri tries to look it through. Our sensors, I'm having difficulty with high resolution, but it looks as though possible there may be some mild ruptures along the lower hull, though this could be the cargo hatches and the ventral section. It's very difficult to tell. It is possible that the ship crashed, but they may have tried to save it, tried to level off, and even pull up, but it was too late. For whatever reason, their engines were not able to manage the descent. By the same token, if it was a crash, it was not a direct one. It was there would have been proper wreckage in all likelihood, or more erratic landing setup.
Does the yawn have a grappling hook or a tractor beam at all that we could use to bring that ship back up?
No.
It definitely doesn't have grapplers, and I'm trying to remember. Wouldn't a Raptor at this point have a tractor beam, or am I terribly mistaken? So at least I know that the issue would have been more. Or I thought the issue was more that the Yan was like it would have needed to get pretty much in the atmosphere, hovering over, and then even then it might not be good enough to like tractor on and lift.
I'm not sure. In the drawings that I did and the research that I did, I didn't see anything at all about a tractor beam being part of this ancient vessel.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
And I don't even think it's got the structural capacity to grab a ship that big. Even if I did manage to like install one,
Sean,
it would break the ship in half.
You left space dock without a tractor beam?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Doesn't arrive till Tuesday.
Oh my god.
The other thing to keep in mind is that unless you have a special talent, tractor beams can only lift a scale of one less than your ship's scale factor, and we are a scale 3 ship.
Scale 2, actually.
Scale 2. So unless that bird of prey is a scale 1 single man fighter bird of prey, we couldn't even lift it according to rules as written.
A very good point.
Well, it sounds like cowards talk.
I think we should break our ship, Charlie. Let's give it the old college ship. Do we not have like chains we can just fix it?
Vopri, how our landing struts have magnetic grapplers, right? Like
there's one landing leg, and that's in the prow, and on the rear it doesn't have landing legs. It's just got struts that are permanently attached. That's what the elevator drops down between.
But they'd have some kind of magnetic thing, I'd assume, to land on space dock type stuff, right?
I don't think in the case of space dock it's like the same level of orbital platforms. I think that they mostly just tether on to an umbilical support structure.
Yeah, and if you're docking with a ship that you can't land inside of, you're just gonna go with the docking port.
I see where you are going, Captain. I don't think that I do not know that even with the reinforcements to our hull, Lord Tabok has made, I do not believe that we would be able to handle that. I do not want also to test structural tolerances of the armor under pressure of under an oceanic pressure.
That was my second. That was my next question: is if we were seaworthy.
That is a question more for Raldar. I know that his environmental suit is seaworthy.
Also, too, if the ship is flooded, that is a tremendous amount of mass added to what is typically an otherwise empty shell. That would increase the tonnage of the flooded ship a whole lot.
Oh yeah,
Remember that 1 gallon of water weighs 8 pounds.
It's not just the whales; it's the water.
It's the water. Aye, that it is, lad.
We
just
just
have to find out how flooded it is.
If the entire thing is full of water, it probably weighs about 4 times as much as it does when it's not all full of water.
So I guess the question is, does the bird of prey down below have the trait waterlogged 4?
God.
I don't think the GM planned for us to do a Raise the Titanic mission, so I may have caught him off guard with that. But
what if we get a lot of balloons? Hear me out.
I saw Raise the Titanic. They used balloons to get it up off the ocean floor.
Pong balls.
I mean, it's technically not a wrong solution.
I feel like it is.
Correct.
I feel like it is the wrong solution.
Man.
You're essentially just attaching ballast to the outside.
Negative ballast.
Yes, negative ballasts.
Could I do this would probably be a computer's focus check to check the database on the type of bird of prey that it is and see if they would have any kind of cloaking device on it?
So that would actually be an obtain information.
Okay.
But are cloaking devices even common enough that anybody would know about them? Because even the cloaking devices from the Enterprise era, they weren't perfect.
I would remind you, Sean, that this man is not of your universe.
Point taken.
I also have this ASIC also has the trait experimental technology, so as a focus, so that would work as well. If that's the case,
it's an obtain information spend either way.
Yep, I dropped one.
Okay, so with that, you quickly check over the computer state and you go over the records, and rather disappointingly, you discover that Klingons of this reality do not have any cloaking devices whatsoever. Not a one.
Okay.
Like, you are legitimately surprised. What is the deal?
Apparently we'll have them in 7 years. 6 years now.
Wonder how that happens.
I want to ask more, but I don't want to spend any more momentum. I want to save it for the rest of the party. But I would direct Vopri's sensors to the ship. And I know we've got weird sensor readings coming from that. That's not where one of our away teams is at, is it?
So Vopri can actually help you out in terms of showing you where the away teams are right now. As you ask to get a check on their status, Vopri will switch the tactical display over and set this up. So let's see. At present, Mr. Isaac, at present, Captain, our away teams are at 2 sites as indicated by the green dots standing by. Switching up the map. Our away teams are presently proceeding in 2 different areas. The Tabok, the team led by Lord Tabok, is presently proceeding northward on the island along a valley in the jungle, as the other team remains near the beach location for their investigation. Though Raldar should be proceeding out into the water once he has his EV suit at the ready and going underwater.
Okay. I'm picturing the scene closing, and if I need to spend a momentum for this, but I'm picturing the scene closing with them looking at whichever group is going to play scenes next. They're looking at the map, and then it flips to them walking on the beach or wherever they are.
Oh yeah. It's that's absolutely the conceit I was going to use. The idea that
we've been playing for as long as we have. We're starting to think alike.
We've
also seen all the Star Treks, so
we zoom in on.
Yes.
We zoom in on one of the green dots here, where the away team is proceeding through the valley. Just to set this up properly, we have presently at the lead, Chemok, who, as the most security-minded person, is taking point. I have the other main player characters, Traven, who will be an NPC tonight since Cheesy was unable to join us, and Tabok following behind them, and then bringing up the rear would be Dar and Lynn. Now, just to make sure that we have everybody in roles here, first things first, Caligo. Lynn was the character you brought in recently. Dar is also obviously a character you have special claim over. Which supporting character would you prefer to play in this scene?
I mean, Lynn is more of a character. Dar is, still the pit bull.
Yes. So, Lynn is all yours then. That leaves for our other players, Chemok and Dar. So, who would like to play? Well, as far as everyone else, let's open this up.
I called dibs on Dar.
Any objection to that?
No.
Nope.
All right, Joe. Would you like Chemok then, or if you prefer rest, I could always give that over to Rev.
I'll let Rev do it.
I was gonna play Traven.
I feel like main player characters are maybe a bridge too far.
We're not on the bridge though.
Ooh.
I think Steven would allow it.
No, I'm good with Chemok.
I was feeling a
I would
tingle in
send
the threat
Traven
pile.
directly to his death. So.
Yep.
Which one?
Rev just takes off his mask, reveals the Riemann quartermaster beneath. Yes.
It's been me the whole time. I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids and your pet Gorn.
Scooby, Dooby, Doo.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
Like Zoink, screw.
Oh, that's even worse.
Okay, back to the plot.
So, Yes, Dar is presently munching a box of dog treats, whilst the five of you are proceeding through this little valley area. For anyone who has the sensibilities to enjoy a warm tropical island in an evening, this is pretty nice. The winds are beginning to cool a bit. The sun is getting low. There's a lot more shade in the valley, but there's a certain ambient heat and humidity being cut by the cooling winds to where there's a nice equilibrium. It's still on the warmer side, but it's cooling down, and it's enough to refresh you, in essence.
Kept cool by the surrounding ocean.
Yes.
Can I get access to Tremok's character sheet?
Yes. Let me open that up here. Let me fix that. Sound supporting.
And this would be an activation, correct? Since he's being officially played by a
By
PC
somebody.
by now. This time.
It would be. I don't think that there was an activation last session for him.
No, because it was all GM played last session.
Lynn should have an activation already.
No, Dar did have an activation last.
Dar did.
Okay, so
Dar did, and Lynn did.
Lynn, yes.
Yeah,
But
because
not Tremok.
I added Smash to Dar.
Taba,
Tamba.
anything in particular you want your boy to have?
No, you can go ahead and do it.
Okay.
I mean, personality-wise, he's a combination of which one of the damn turtles? Michelangelo from TMNT, and I forget who else he was supposed to be. Just big and dumb and ugly.
I'll probably give him a talent. He doesn't have a talent yet.
Okay.
Oh, I know the talent I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him the one that lets him do lethal attacks without gaining threat.
Ooh, I like you.
Killer's Instinct. Right?
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think the GM just, had a bit of a sphincter spasm there at that one.
I had nothing of the sort. I was just saying that finally Tabak has someone he can be happy with on this crew.
He trusts his crew now to a point.
Yes. Anyway, so Tabak, you're the first to round. Well, you're the second to round over this ridge, after your new, at least temporary chief of security. That's such that you have it. It's an unusual motley group, and it's not. You're not entirely happy with him, given the fact that he was supposed to bring down more meat shields, but apparently he didn't think that they were well trained enough for what he wanted you to do, or what you wanted to.
Yeah.
He's not entirely together.
He's working on it. I'll give him that much.
No.
He's lethal as hell, but he's still working at figuring out how to do his job the right way.
Yep. So as you get over this ridge, I will ask people to give me, let's call this, you may roll you may roll an insight roll. It can either be with science or with security. What you choose will influence what you wind up getting.
So is insight and security or insight and science?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, so broadly speaking, as the party winds its way over the last ridge and enters the valley, Chemok, your eyes dart through the foliage and through the valleys. It's a relatively narrow path, even if it is very easy, with sloping hills, very dense foliage. This seems like it would be exceptionally difficult and dense. Well, if you try to deviate too much from the terrain, it would start getting very dense and very difficult to navigate. There's a lot of color interspersing things with the different flowers, so there's a lot that can throw the eyes off a bit as well. Likewise, Dar, there is an overwhelming degree of sense from the warm jungle environment that you're in. It's not like any set of fragrances that you have encountered in your existence. This is probably the nicest smelling planet you have ever been on. Traven's part. Oh, good.
I was just growling. Good.
Gotcha. Let's see. Oh, Traven actually. Okay, no, he was rolling with the botany focus. Traven stops by to look over some of the plant life. Interestingly, some flowers are actually starting to perk up a bit more in the low sun. Would you object if I took a sample, my lord? He says to Tabak. I'll
if you must.
Yeah, sorry, we just don't get to do this too often, and this is a bit of a unique chance to actually study a little bit. Something I can take back to the kit. It says,
as long as they're more useful than they smell.
Can I just start eating them?
You may attempt to eat the plants.
Yay!
Let's see. Give me a... I'm going to say this is a... Oh, let's see. The check note. Okay. This will be a fitness and medicine roll. Difficulty 1. I am going to spend... 5 points of threat to max out your Wait,
Why
no, 6
would you
points
do
of threat
that
to max
me?
out your complication range.
No! That's so vicious.
This is for Dar, I'm assuming, to eat the plants successfully.
Yes.
I can't believe you've done this.
I can.
Welcome back, Ray.
You're fine. See? You're fine. What was
I'm
the difficulty?
totally fine.
It was a difficulty 1 roll, so you earn back 2 points of momentum.
Yay.
Yeah, as the three of you are talking, you hear like the loud chomping and rustling as Dar just pulls down a branch and is like trying to use his incisors to
Masticate.
Yes, to get a lot of like trying to crunch up a bunch of leaves. It's not going well because predators not so good on that.
Tabak leans into Traven. I thought all Gorn were carnivores.
I mean, as far as I know, yeah. I'd better get some warning to the doctor here in a bit. He's probably going to deal with one upset stomach. Wait, actually, presuming that's not toxic there. Wait, stop.
It just eats faster like a dog with a candy wrapper.
Spit it out.
No. Get that out. Right. Come on, Roller's not going to be happy about that.
Delicious. More.
Oh. Okay.
Traven, you're going to have to stop him when you're cleaning out his room.
Oh. Can't we put one of the help on that, or one of the new ones?
I'll think about it.
The mess halls.
Actually, I was already thinking about it.
Dar, amidst the scent there's something else that catches on catches on the smell. Something much more like harsh and sort of sterile as wind blows on by. Something that reminds you a little more of a scent you'd associate with the ship.
He halts his aggressive pedal tuning and like takes a very gruff sniff, like, and can I roll to go in the direction of the sound, or to find the direction of the sound?
I'll allow you one additional insight plus security roll, and I will reduce the difficulty on that to 1. Let's see. You have rolled fitness and medicine again.
Sorry.
Just tell me what the stats were, and what we can take that roll.
No, I will do this correctly. I got distracted by the very stinky yes on there. Okay, you said insight and security?
Correct. Well, that is still
Still a success.
Yes, that still is plenty for that. Dar, the scent seems to be coming further ahead the valley. It feels like the wind is carrying a bit more highly in some way. Like it's coming as the breeze kind of blows further down from the valley, but relatively close by. And I shot you something in the roll 20 there for this.
Hey, Mr. Tabak, Lord, sir.
Yes, Kamak.
We should. I don't like this place. We need to.
Trees.
It's too cramped. Easy to get lost. And well, I don't know where I'm going. Do you?
Just keep an eye on your tracker and your tricorder. You should be fine.
Oh, okay. As he's clearly holding the tricorder upside down.
Yep.
The scanner upside down.
Yes, and as Tabak says that, he reaches over, flips it around in his hand, and says what he says.
Yeah. On it.
Question.
Yes.
Does Dar know what those would be called?
The tricorder or the scanner?
No, what's in the chat?
What you sent to Ray.
Yeah. I don't know that he knows the exact word for them at this point. So it might be a case where he is. It might be a case where he has to find some other hilarious word mashup for them.
I have no hilarity in that whatsoever. So, you all will suffer for that.
Who are you and what'd you do with the real Ray?
I'm so tired all the time. I'm gonna have Dar charge to the closest one and start trying to climb it, if possible.
Dar begins making his way immediately towards the dense foliage, moving suddenly and with great purpose, running down. It is at about half that distance, as his big meaty leg runs one foot after the other. Let's see.
I don't think I've ever seen him move that fast. Well, there was that time when we beamed him into a mining colony, but I think he's moving faster than that now. we should keep up with him.
As you say that, bolts of green begin flying out, and a few catch, clip Dar along the shoulders as shots from a disruptor begin firing out through the foliage. You are now in combat.
No!
And with that disruptor damage, let's see, that is 1, 2, 3. That should actually include Vicious 1, so that is...
Jesus.
Not quite. 8 points of stress, which is enough for an injury. It could not...
Was this a lethal attack?
It was not made as a lethal attack. The GM did not declare it beforehand.
Tough feat.
Yep. But Dar is going to take 8 points of stress there, which is enough for a non-lethal injury, so that's...
Unless you want to spend your determination.
Or just, I think it's just, one momentum for Dar?
I'll double
Because of the
check.
tough feat?
Yes, because he has the tough talent.
Okay, yeah. Ray,
Also, what's Dar's resistance?
All right, he does have resistance. Where?
let's see. With his
+3.
augmented thick... Yes.
Okay,
With his
so it is still
augmented
enough
thick
for an
hide-
injury.
Yeah, it is. So with his augmented thick hide, that is 3 points of resistance against a non-lethal injury. That winds up doing 5 stress instead. So that'll... There, we'll put it back up to here. Ray, would you like to ignore that injury by spending a point of momentum?
Do we need to ignore that injury, guys? Do we need our giant Frankenstein monster to still be good?
Probably.
Alright, yeah, let's go ahead and start.
Okay. Yeah. With that attack there, the contact in the trees has opened up on you. However, the turn order now goes to your group.
Question. Has Dar ever felt this level of pain?
Has he ever felt what? I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that.
This level of pain before?
I think he's been shot at a few times.
Yeah, from the war crime.
Yeah, that war time.
Yeah. Specifically, Tabok's war crime.
Wait a minute now. But they didn't even use disruptors. They used mining lasers.
Yeah, energy weapons are gonna hurt pretty badly. Also, Raldar had a pain stick that he applied on a pretty frequent enough basis. I'd say some intermix of things has caused Dar some pretty bad pain.
Poor baby. Alright. Is this enough to knock him to the ground whenever he's initially running, or we just...
Well, by ignoring the injury, he's able to keep going. This doesn't meet the game mechanic threshold to qualify as a knockback, if that was your question.
Yeah, that was.
Or
Alright, I'm
knockdown,
going to
rather.
let you guys take a turn, because I have done enough damage as is.
Okay, if you could indicate, Mr. GM, on the map from what direction this fire came from?
Certainly. It came from somewhere up in the foliage in the trees further ahead of you. So the valley before you is going to slope down a little bit before starting to climb again, and it is somewhere in that direction.
In the was it above us, or was it from ground level?
It came from above.
As like in the tree?
Yes. Tabok would probably know after a sufficient spray of fire where it was coming from, particularly as he was watching Dar do that. Hemok definitely recognizes that.
Okay. I was given a name, was I not?
Let's see.
For the pickup?
I don't recall them giving you the express name here. Let me go and check.
Or at least a code phrase or something to identify myself. I have to have a means of identifying myself. He's not gonna... If he's being chased, we're just more chasers.
Sure thing, sure thing. Let me just go back through my notes, because I think Tabak would have been given the... given something. Let's see here, just finding that back. I think I left it. I must have left it in last episode's notes. I can't believe the oversight there.
I can't believe it's not better.
No.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
So I'll give. Let's see. So that is the name that you. I sent along the name via Discord there.
Yep, see it. All right. You know what? Hold on. Let me take a look real quick. Oh, do command tasks work on the ground, or would that be something else entirely?
Let's see. That I think that you could actually use command tasks for inspiration purposes, or there might be room to direct on the ground. In most cases, it's more relevant for space-based combat, just because of the nature of how things work in that setting. But there is a direct action, and it's always granted to the character in a position of authority.
All right. Well, first thing I'm going to do, Shuvna, I'm here to collect you.
Do you wish to try and make a task of convincing?
No. That's I'm taking my action in the initiative to call out and see what happens.
Okay. Let's see. The disruptor blasts begins spraying out wildly in your general direction as bolts soar. Some overhead, some landing in the path before you. Others whizzing uncomfortably nearby.
From a single source?
Yes.
Okay. Can I still give a command or a whatever? Or no?
Talking like that might qualify as a minor action, so I suppose you can still do something here.
Hemlock, take that out.
Okay. Can I shoot him?
Oh boy, can you shoot.
Do you want me to go for a kill?
Who are you asking?
My commanding officer.
Okay, were you asking, or was Hemlock asking?
Yes.
I don't know if Hemlock would think that far ahead. He was told, take it out.
Okay, then he would go for the kill. Then he would go for the kill. Absolutely. And he does not need to give you threat anymore. Yay! All right, so he's going to shoot to kill.
All right, and because
difficulty?
This would be a control plus security task performed at a difficulty of 3, only because while you have a decent idea of where he is, there is enough cover there that it is obscuring an exact position.
Excellent. And will I be assisted by Tabak?
Tabak is directing you here, so he can roll presence plus command in order to do exactly that.
And that would be 1 die from him, right?
Correct.
Cool.
Presence and command.
Can I...
Oh!
Okay, cool. This is okay.
Oh, my God.
I will roll. Difficulty of 3. Here we go.
Oh, that is not
That
a
was not a success.
Hemok not covering himself in glory right now.
No.
As you just say, as Tabak just says, take him out. You start firing like with the same abandon in the trees, disruptor bolts cutting through the foliage, starting errant fires, and just generally it is a disorganized crossfire going from where you are on the ridge to the trees. It's disruptor bolts whizzing by. It might be that Hemok actually decided to try and take an aimed shot with the plasma repeater, and he's finding that he has never used such equipment before. So it is just like it's like Predator or Tropic Thunder, where they just start spraying the guns and like nothing happens except for like errant fires and explosions and like the jungle being cut up, something like that. It's a shoot from the hip sort of affair.
I mean, I don't know. He doesn't know where other than in the trees, he doesn't know where it's at. So he's kind of just doing a blanket barrage up in the trees, hoping to hit something. All the while screaming, "Come out and face me! Don't fight like a Romulan!"
Yes, we all agree.
Tabak just sort of stands there watching him hose the tree down with plasma. and Hemok is a lot taller than Tabak. I mean, Hemok is a huge lump of meat. And when he takes a breath and removes his finger from the trigger, Tabak gives him a good solid Gibbs up the backside of the head. Which is hard to do because Hemok really doesn't have much of a neck. Idiot.
Well, what? I didn't see where he was. I figured if all the trees on fire, he should be on fire too.
I may have to rethink your current employment.
Oh.
Has the opposing fire stopped?
The opposing fire is a bit more sporadic, but it is still coming out. At this point, based on your sensors, there's only one person here, or like one opponent, it seems. So all of you guys do get an opportunity to act without me doing anything here, basically.
Mr. GM.
Yes.
After being told other employment, would it be possible for me to spend my determination to immediately go fire a second time?
Oh, you could definitely swift task. I will say, it does, I believe, increase the difficulty of the attack.
I think if you spend determination to do it, it doesn't, but I could be wrong about that.
I'll double check as we look here.
I could be wrong. I can't remember.
You could use, I believe that you could spend momentum to swift task and then use if you have a value, or better yet, or if you have a relevant directive. Wait a minute. Here it is. Surge of activity. The character may immediately perform another task as soon as one has been resolved, Let's see. This is useful in combat situations or others where the character is under pressure and cannot normally attempt two consecutive tasks. It's not
Okay, so it looks like it does.
Yes, I will. So I will allow for that, definitely.
Okay. His value is something to prove.
Very good.
Can I spend a point of momentum for a third die?
Sure.
And he drops the repeater, pulls out his disruptor rifle, and he's going to use the aim minor action.
Very good. Also, Joe, you can just delete those momentum as they come out onto the board. Like, select and delete.
And what's the difficulty? Difficulty would be 4 now, right?
Yes, it would be 4 right now.
Okay.
Do you need some momentum?
He already took a point.
And I aimed, so I'm going to re-roll that 0.
Okay.
Haha!
Yay!
That manages to connect in the right area, so go ahead and roll damage for that disruptor rifle. I'm also going to ask, still a lethal shot?
Still a lethal shot.
Very good.
Wondering if I just killed my pickup.
Okay, roll damage. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 of those get the vicious quality, so that effectively doubles the damage. That is 9 points of stress. And against that stress track, that is going to be... Okay, that is only enough for a single lethal injury. But there's a sound of the disruptors like just shredding through the trees, bits of leaves like vaporized in an instant, really, before the fires can properly start. And several of those hits get planted on exactly the right place to where a tree branch collapses, and you see a figure fall out of the branches and onto the ravine floor. It is quite a considerable fall, such to where they must have been rigged up quite high. I am going to roll additional damage here to see what the fall does. So that would be... Let's check against my notes here. Okay. I'm going to roll just a few challenge dice here to see whether it adds enough to the stress track to be a problem. And close. That's... Man, that was close to being quite bad. They are just hanging on. So, yeah, the figure is incapacitated. You are now out of combat, and may proceed as normal.
Walk over.
Shramag's running over there, pulling out his dagger and getting ready to just sink it in this guy.
Hold.
You stop about where Dar is.
Dar looks over. I put you first.
Traven inches forward just a bit, very cautious and furtive. Not seeing any other life signs on the scanner here, my lord. Should one of us? Who do you want?
Let's examine our new friend, shall we? So I go over to the guy who fell out of the tree.
Okay. Everybody else content to go up together and take a close look at him?
Yeah.
Shavas's gonna kind of take up the rear now and just has his rifle out sweeping the area in case anybody else shows up.
Cool.
I didn't quite hear you there, Israel.
I just said yeah. I'm good to walk up with him.
Okay, so Dar, Tabak, the two of you can close the distance. Lynn, you want to get any closer to this?
Yep.
Okay.
She's intrigued.
I squeezed Traven there. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sure, as Rev's experience would tell us, it's a common thing. So, let's see. Tabak, from the looks of things, and what all of you would very readily tell, this appears to be a sort of environmental suit mixed with armor. Something that, at least in your experience, Tabak, you know that some houses, particularly that have armed groups, this is like a variation on a sort of utility and combat armor. Exactly the sort you would expect for on like larger ships. It's probably just a cut above what the Imperials have, or like what the proper Imperial fleet uses, because the houses can afford to invest a little bit more in like some of the extra fixings, basically.
Yeah. Does he bear any house insignia?
There is an insignia marking, which you can look over, and it does seem to be familiar. I'll take a point of momentum or an insight plus command roll to investigate that. Difficulty of 1.
Is that an either or?
You may either spend the momentum to obtain information, or you can roll.
Wrong.
It's slightly a task because this armor, even if it hadn't been like just doused with disruptor bolts, is also in very rough shape. It seems to have been.
Is that insight and command?
Yes.
Let's just spend the point. I don't want to risk it.
All right. So, yeah, the armor's definitely seen better days, and now it is like cracked up. It has numerous punctured areas. It seems like this person has taken several spills in like other dirt and whatnot. They even have like some branches like tied on or anchored on so as to provide extra camouflage, essentially.
Mm-hmm. So,
but this appears...
What's the house insignia?
It appears to match that of House Kurath. A house that you had an encounter with, or rather that the Jan had met back like a few months ago, when they had returned the refugees to Galidan II. They were the house that had moved in to claim the world from House Ketoch.
Well, wonder what they're doing here.
The individual in the suit like shifts very slightly. There's not a lot of arm movement, but they are able to like just kind of roll a very little bit, like they're trying to get onto their back. Draven looks and says, my lord, this man might need medical attention if he is to tell us anything. Should I call the doctor?
Might as well. He's not dead. He may be useful. He may be of use to us.
There's the muffled sounds of coughing in the helmet. I think I have something I can use to stabilize him for the time being, if you'd like. Traven produces a hypo spray, or the whatever equivalent he received from Kresic some ways back, and he's going to try and administer that to the incapacitated Klingon gentleman here. Let's
make sure I take all his. We take all his weaponry away from him.
Yep. He has a disruptor rifle, a pistol, and a. He still has a mechleth on him as well. So that'll be daring plus medicine.
A mechleth? Okay.
It's a weird mechleth. It's the sort that appears to be. It's the weird discovery sort of pointy variant.
Okay.
Let's see. So, Traven actually manages to stabilize him despite those being his very worst stats.
The odds were against him. I was going to ask if Kresic was going to be able to assist, since it was one of his things, but he doesn't even need it.
Nope. Traven seems to have this under control.
Natural 1. So proud of you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's like he's probably stable enough. Do we want to leave him here?
No,
Tavok,
we'll take him up. Take him up to the ship.
Right. Yeah. I'll.
Tabok to Kresic.
Yes.
What exactly are you up to right now, good doctor? I have a patient for you.
We might have a bigger problem.
Meaning?
Zionol found something troubling.
Mm-hmm. That being what?
What exactly was it? It was a container, right?
It was a medical grade canister that was found completely broken.
A broken medical containment canister. The sort you would transport viruses or bacteria or other dangerous airborne toxins in.
Have you found any such?
Nothing is on scans, but it is very concerning.
Well, it's going to have to be a problem for future us. Right now, I have a patient who will be going to the ship shortly. For you to make sure he doesn't die just yet.
Understood.
So, let me know when you're back there so I can transport him up to you.
I will do so. Kresic to Jan.
This is the Jan.
I need to get back to the ship.
I will provide orders to Mr. DuPont right away.
Good. I will be taking that with me, he says to Zionol as he snatches the canister away.
Yep, you guys hear just over the audience like, oh, fine, do what you must. It seems like it's worse luck for me to have it around. And with that, as the comm line cuts off, you see, Tabok, there are other biosigns on the island, further inland it seems. One up in the long dormant volcano, and another further along the valley towards the it seems towards the towards an inland little river area.
Yeah, I don't want to climb right now. I'm feeling lazy, so we'll go for a walk.
I think that I'll spend 2 points of threat to close off the scene there as you keep your crew moving along.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, and using that threat to end the scene, let's go elsewhere. Let's take a little dip. How does that sound, everybody? Including our new person. Welcome aboard, Commander Solo, or Commando Solo. Oh, I misattributed rank there. Apologies. Thank you for following. Hope you enjoy. Use your newfound Moopsy emotes responsibly. So, whilst all of this is going here, let us cut to under the water, where...
Under the sea. Under the sea. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Let's see. Just to make sure that you two are not taking the biggest of glugs here, let's mark out that you guys are in fact in environmental suits in some manner. So we'll use a little symbol here. Beneath the waves of the ocean which surrounds this great island, two figures make their way under the ocean and trudge through the sandy sea floor. The first of those... Oh dear, what is this alert? We've been raided by the Architects of Fate. Hello, welcome everybody. You just came at a scene change, so it's the perfect time for me to acknowledge you. And also another reminder, I need to set these alerts for something more Klingon related. I hope you guys enjoyed your stream, whatever tabletop you had going here. We're just keeping it rolling with some Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. It's welcome, everybody. So let's get back to where we were, which took us under the waves of the ocean of this planet that we've arrived on. Raldar, trudging through the these teal-tinted depths, your every footfall kicking up a bit of the sandy ocean floor. You are followed by Kelsha, the Kulhak engineer's mate that you essentially have. It seems that your leadership here, as we'd established with the players from last time, it was enough to inspire her to follow you down. I'll leave this to your determination who wants to play them. Rev, would you like to take over for Kelsha, or would you prefer to yield it elsewhere?
I'll do whatever everyone else wants to do.
Okay. Anyone else want to take Kelsha as you guys are trudging beneath the waves?
I'm good.
Fair enough. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. In any case, Raldar, it's been a slow trudge, but with the waning sun cutting through the sea floor, you can make out the outline ahead of a Michlab-class bird of prey. It is one of the frequent house variants, not the sort that you usually expect to see around, like you would have. It is not the sort you would have seen in Imperial service. They use much older, more utilitarian-style birds of prey. That is to say, but you're familiar enough with it, at just base knowledge of raiding craft.
The confirmed visual of the bird of prey, one of the more ornamental variants.
A staticky signal comes through. Okay. Copy, rather. I'm trying to boost power to communications, but there is difficulty with undersea. Some sort increased energy. Some sort unknown cause.
I will continue as planned to investigate the vessel.
So yeah, Raldar trudging through the undersea location. You see that as you take steps, and particularly as the water dims, you notice along the seafloor there's a beginning of the stirring of different sorts of sea life sort of around. Some very small but brilliant blues of fish that seem to illuminate swimming along their path. Schools begin to disembark from caves in the areas around this, in the area around the bird of prey, and there's no small amount of other things that appear like the closer you look, signs of like corals that begin to pop out, or underwater plants that seem to have recessed in the light that begin to spot out, all in various sort of luminous electrical blues, it seems. It's only just beginning to emerge right now, but there's a steady change to this as you make your way past. So, let's see. With some time through getting to the bird of prey, the terrain is relatively level, but you approach the largely intact vessel. Coming around its wings, you know that there is a segment of the ventral side that should have some hatches. Worst case, you could climb up to a dorsally mounted hatch, but you figure, why not try the other first? Unless you want to. Of course. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. So, approaching the cargo hatch, you see that conveniently the door is wide open.
Both of them?
Yes.
Ugh.
The cargo hatches are completely opened on this bird of prey.
No, that answers how flooded the ship is. At least the cargo holds.
Yep.
Can I scan for... where exactly am I looking for here? I am looking for... If these compartments were opened, I want to know if if the ship is in any kind of like maintenance mode, power-wise, or if the ship is not powered at all. I'm looking to see like what the power levels of the ship are.
It's a very good question. I will ask you for a reason plus engineering scan. I will call this a difficulty 2 task. And if you have an applicable focus in power systems, that would definitely work, or something with engines. If you have another focus you would like to pitch, I'm willing to listen to that.
Power management.
I'll say that's close enough, and I will give it to you, because I'm a kind GM.
Oh. And what was it? Insight and security? Insight and engineering?
Insight and engineering, yes.
All right.
Or I think I was actually going to go reason.
Okay.
Because you'd be
it's the same either way for me.
Yeah. Apologies, I should have been clearer.
And you said the difficulty was 2.
Correct.
How important is this roll, folks? Should I spend the momentum for an extra die, or do you think we're good?
I approve the expenditure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Go for an extra die.
All right.
Okay. Reducing to 3 momentum.
Oh, that was worth it.
And you score 4 successes on the task, which means you earn back 2. So that will take you up to 5 points of momentum. And Kelshaw, the ship is not powered. There's a very good reason why. I should first clarify in saying that it is even residual backup power systems that, from what you could gather would be the time you'd expect it was down here, seem to be drained. It seems as though power is depleted. Now, taking a step back here, this is odd for a number of reasons. Besides bird of prey on the ocean floor being parked here, apparently, you notice that as you try to read out for the primary systems, it seems as though someone very deliberately ejected antimatter pods, cleared any engine system that could be to essentially vent almost any practical sort of fuel necessary for interstellar or particularly fast travel. A lot of any sort of most of the sensitive radiological components or anything else that would be risky to keep underwater over time, without a very big boom, seems to have been expended. It seems as though there's also sign of fusing in some of the in some of the ship systems, such that there are exterior parts of the warp system out here. Something seems to have been deliberately burned or scorched. Likely by some sort of internal process. It's at least not consistent with weapons fire. It further seems like all of the decay, everything that would have been necessary for that, or all the indications that show you that this has happened, suggest it happened sometime in the past day or so. And that the power systems, whatever was left in reserve, was depleted very fast, somehow expended, because there should be something still working on that ship, or that it shouldn't be gone this quickly.
Looks like they scuttled it.
Scuttled it. Maybe it has a black box. It's operational in here.
The record of battle should be intact unless they took it with them.
I'll do. Look for it. It should be near the computer tour.
You climb through you climb towards the doors, Raldar. At a certain point, I'd imagine the EV suit gives you a little bit of an assist to traverse the distance, or give you a little bit of buoyancy. We will at least provide as such to give you the boost. However you make it into the ship, you cross through the threshold of the cargo bay doors. It seems as though wildlife is getting well situated in here, and the interior of the ship has gone completely black so far as the emergency lighting goes. There's no lighting coming from that, but there are brilliant blue bits of illumination as fish and other animals begin to swim along through the cargo bay. The cargo bay is largely still well stocked. It is full of containers, which appear to be knocked askance. All manner of signs of various bits of equipment, food, all sorts of things that any standard cargo you would expect from a bird of prey such as this. Probably a decent amount of looted material as well. This ship seems like it was on standard operating procedure up until some point very recently. The door from the cargo bay into the rest of the ship appears to be opened, which just further goes to the point the ship is very likely completely flooded.
I'm going to turn on the suit's lights and, head on deeper in.
Okay. Well,
Taking out my scanner and taking scans as I go.
okay.
See if there's any damage or not along the way.
Yeah. I will just give you for free, Raldar, partly building off Kelshaw's role here, since she was probably able to share the telemetry from when you were outside. Every indication suggests that, such that there is damage in this ship, it is consistent with what you would probably do if you were trying to scuttle or sabotage a vessel from the inside. Various points that the power grid is being, has been ruptured in certain areas or had previously been ruptured. The plasma systems have probably long since expended themselves with everything that's going here. A good bit, honestly, probably vented even before the ship was completely flooded at this point, or a sizable enough proportion between what was vented from the engines and what was what was lost once the plasma kind of got out of the EPS system. But yes, with every step through this seemingly deliberately incapacitated bird of prey, you find the ship is showing signs of minor bits of damage to its EPS relays at several critical junctures. This was hit with either the skill of a very adept boarding party, or the eye of an engineer that knew their ship entirely too well and for some reason was possessed to sink it.
I see.
So, ascending through the bird of prey, I think that at a certain point, I'd be willing to grant that a bird of prey like this has some sort of system that would allow you to climb through. There's something analogous to the ladder system. I'm actually going to ask, because you are going to need to ascend a little ways, Raldar. Give me let's call this a control plus engineering roll in order to do this. And
to climb up.
Yes, because you're having to navigate a dead ship in very sort of tight quarters, and you are a big boy in a bulky suit.
Hazard awareness?
That does come into play here. You definitely get that focus. Whoops.
All right.
However, let's see. The difficulty on this task is going to be... I'm going to set that to 2, given that understanding. I am, however, going to expend 3 points of threat to increase your complication range up to 3.
Complication range 3.
Mm-hmm.
How nice. Think I will just roll flat to, not complicate, hopefully.
Can Kelshaw assist by pushing his fat butt up when he gets stuck?
Pushing might actually make things worse.
Oh, okay.
Depending
by pulling when he gets stuck?
It depends on what he clips, basically.
That's true.
Klingon ships, sharp edges, bad.
That's true.
All right. Not a tunnel rat. All right. Hey!
That is
Wrong name, but the correct sheet.
indeed. Raldar properly gets 3 successes, which is 1 more than you needed, so you max out in momentum. And Raldar, you have just enough spatial awareness, just enough understanding of how these raiders worked. You may well have even helped to fix one up back in the day that you know what you need to dodge with your suit. So it's a slow is smooth, smooth is fast situation. You're not concerned about rushing. With each ponderous climb, you steadily ascend through the decks until you find what you believe in this bird of prey would contain the main computer core, and it's the ship's record of battle.
Record of battle should have its own power system.
Indeed. Breaking your way into the ship's main computer core, you find that this room is also flooded, but it seems to have been spared some of the major power loss. Or not power loss, but it wasn't. It appears to have been undamaged, at least from the. There doesn't seem to have been as serious a level of damage as elsewhere in the ship.
I see. All right. Let's see if I can jack into this record of battle. See if I can get the data.
Let's see. I'll say that this task is, honestly, this is easy enough that you don't necessarily need to. You don't necessarily need to do anything with the. You don't need to do anything task-wise to roll for this, so it's a simple matter of accessing this. The power systems appear to be just active enough to where you could link up with your... you could link the system to your suit in order to get comms adequately linked in, something to where you could take an audio record here. You could search for, I'd say, at least 1 or 2 pertinent bits of information before power levels become a bit concerning. Or not useful, that is to say.
What about downloading the data?
You could you could simply use it to download the data and maybe still get a question if you want to look this up.
I see, all right. I'm willing to start downloading it and just ask one question now.
Okay. Any semblance of something you'd want to do?
I'd like to see the most recent entries to see if there is a listed reason why the ship has been scuttled like this.
Understood.
Because they clearly did not fall in battle.
Okay. You start combing through what records you can whilst dealing with the whilst getting you start downloading the information that you can get from the ship, getting it into a relatively secure compartment, or like a secure device to move it back to the basically get it back to the surface and eventually back to the yacht. It does occur to you, of course, to check the ship's records, and you actually see that there was one important bit of information. One logged from the someone designated as the chief engineer, McCoth.
I see.
Yep.
Cough.
Yep. Triggering the system, you open it up and you find the face of a man who you saw dead on a beach just a couple hours ago.
Oh. Lovely.
Not much time before it goes down. Done everything I can. I've put my priorities into this, but it is not. It is too late. Too late for my crew, but not for anyone that sees this. If you have not been affected, that there's still a chance. You must sterilize this place. It must never leave this place.
He kind of stops and catches his breath.
I thought the delta radiation from the engines would do me in faster, but would do me in a ways down the line. But no, it goes much faster now.
There's the very audible sounds of like shaking from the hull here.
They did not even fight me when I did this. That is how bad this is. Never let it leave.
And with that, the channel cuts out, and the dead engineer McCoth disappears from the line.
I see. How telling and untelling at the same time.
Yes. Curse your helpful but vague instructions. Or better yet,
Curse your hidden but inevitable. I can't finish the quote.
You tried so hard.
I did. I screwed it up in the beginning.
It's more appropriately would be the moment from the Robot Chicken Star Wars specials where it's Seth MacFarlane's Palpatine. It's like, who's they? In reference to who blew up the Death Star. The hell?
What's an aluminum falcon?
Yep. Yeah. So, Raldar, as you pull the file, you find that there are a great deal more fish entering this new room now. It was apparently flooded by some other means, so that obviously it was it was obviously filled with water before you came in. But it was not in a place, apparently, where the fish could get to it now. So you have many brilliant blue, different colors and shapes of fish. Again, they're brilliant electric blues passing by, swimming around the computers, around the consoles before your faceplate. Would you like to give me an insight and science roll?
All right, insight in science.
Would I be able to assist?
If Kelshaw has come up to join, then sure.
Yes, she's been in there.
Yep. So she
hazard
has also
awareness?
been privy to. This might qualify.
Oh no.
I'll not allow it in this case, actually, and I
Damn.
will set the difficulty on this roll to 2 as well.
Might is never a good word to hear from a GM.
Oh no.
If you need to spend some momentum, we got 5 of them.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Let's spend the momentum because.
I'll note that just for narrative purposes, Kelshaw, you were also privy to the last transmission of the ship's engineer.
Yes.
You at least got the audio from it.
I will nab a point of momentum for this. All right, I think I gained one on that last roll, so it's just still at 5.
Yeah. Sorry, I was bad about catching that. Yes, difficulty
roll.
2 roll on this.
All right.
And
I think that's enough.
yep, that maxes you out to 6. And you have, let's see, that would be, I think, 3 floating momentum now.
All right, I've rolled ones twice in a row.
Impressive.
Most impressive.
So as you're pondering the possible meanings of this and extracting the components there, you notice as the fish flow by that they look. You're no medical expert. You're not a scientist, Raldar. But you're pretty sure that most fish wouldn't evolve with the strange, transparent growths that appear on their heads, around their eyes, and that generally seem to encase some parts of them. Something translucent and gelatinous. And that particularly carry that bright glow. How would you guys like to leave the scene there for a minute?
Oh boy.
Any objection?
We should leave. Now.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to leave.
Yep,
to
fair
leave the
enough.
scene.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep. So let us do exactly that then. And let us take the players. We're gonna go to a top-down view once again, rejoining our other landing party on the island. Let's see here. Just make sure I get everybody selected. So, for the rest of you, Tabak, Lynn, Dar, for Traven, and for Chemok, trudging about the island is it is quite a task getting through the valleys and peaks.
We already sent the wounded guy up to the ship, yes?
Yes, he had
Okay.
beamed away as you were departing, and
Just making sure, sir.
Of course. You had made your way through the valley towards a break, towards what appears to be something of an inlet river area. Based on the sensor readout that you've checked and rechecked from the yawn, there is signs not simply of another biosign, but also of a what appears to be vague, like slight EM readings. As you step through the forested area, you actually hear crackling in the distance and pick up the vague scent of fragrant burning wood in the distance. Vopri's voice is coming through Tabak on your comm.
Okay.
Having difficulties giving you any more precision there, but there's possible signs of an active EM field. There is some sort of interference in the area. Can't quite discern nature of additional energy field.
Would this also explain the limitations on our scanners?
I believe so.
Right,
Working theory.
Keep your eye on it, and maintain communications as much and as long as you can.
Vopri will acknowledge, and your party they proceed down the river. Now, given how the last time this went, are you guys changing anything with your approach, or do you just want to go over to the encampment?
What can we see of the encampment from hiding in the shrubbery?
From your ways here, it seems that, just to clarify, there's like some elevated terrain here, what seems to be sort of a natural like wall or hill that would have been a good point if you were establishing a camp to get like somebody up there for watch purposes. It certainly would allow a bit more of a free space for like as it recesses further back. You can tell from your sensors that you have a good sense of what the topography looks like in essence.
I wasn't worried about topography.
Yeah.
I was worried about
in terms of what you can
people.
What you can see at this angle. You don't see any people. You could make out some very thick tents. You would guess something not exactly standard equipment. It must be something exceptionally nice. It wouldn't surprise you if a command party came down at a certain point and set something up.
They're fancy Klingon tents.
Slightly.
Okay.
There's a traditional nature to them, like a traditional, war tent encampment sort of affair.
They have the extra hard granite slabs.
Ah, right.
For your discomfort.
Right, for sleeping comfortably.
Yes.
No faces, no people, just fancy pants tents.
Yeah, this camp is strangely without Klingons. At least from what you can make out. From
Should I
an eyeball.
Should I shoot at the trees again? Get rid of anybody who's getting ready to shoot at us?
Taybok is actually considering it. Are these trees like palm trees, or are they more like regular deciduous trees?
I would say there's more palms in. More of them are palms, but there are some deciduous ones. It's all very like leafy green sort of thing. So
so someone could actually be hiding up in the trees.
Yes.
No, Hemlock, not yet. Although, all things considered, not necessarily a bad idea.
Okay. Well, just let me know when and where.
See, Traven looks over the sensor feed he's getting from the Jan, comparing it to his own scanner. I do think that there's actually somebody there. I'm seeing movement on the scanner. It looks like they might not. I think they're approaching the encampment from just further north. There's a path that that they're taking down here.
All right, so we'll stay concealed for now and observe our enemy.
So, you stay at some distance. Would you guys like to roll a, let's call this, an insight plus security roll?
Oh, sure.
I'll give you guys, we'll make this a difficulty 1 roll. I will only award momentum based on the highest roll, and I will note the stuff that was floating from last scene did disappear at the end of the scene, so you have just the 6 there, like you...
Yeah, we do have 6.
Yeah. Alright. If Taybok's the only one going there, then that will be enough for...
Well, I'll do insight and security as well.
Yep. Hemok, you make out a character, but Taybok, I'd say you have the firmest eyes here. You have something just pressing in your mind, telling you that you need to find this target. There is that call to serve in this particular case, and the hopes that this will answer that call. That from the distance, you are uncertain whether this person is going to do that. They, however, appear... it appears to be a very wizened but regally dressed sort of kukawi from the distance. At the pace you're at with the... I imagine that you have to have some sort of binocular or high-tech equivalent here. So from your view, you see a man that appears to be that sort of... he has the distinctive ridges of somebody who had received the genetic treatment and cranial reconstruction, that flawed cure for the Kuvat plague so many years prior.
Yeah, the thing that my brother went and did. Idiot. Not my brother, my uncle. Sorry.
Yeah. Tabor takes exception to that. He will remember this.
Not Tabor, uncle.
Yes, that's why you made the initial mistake, so Tabor takes exception.
From several light years away. Okay.
Exactly. He had a moment of meta-clarity. The Klingon appears to be, very ornately dressed as well. He is in armor and what would appear to be something the equivalent of a house's uniform.
What house?
Very likely the House of Kurath as well. Or at least the armor matches what you had seen the one time when you had encountered that Kurath captain back at Galeden 2. But he appears to also have additional decoration. He bears a warrior's sash with some signs of adornment, so that could be those recognized by his house. There could be some merits that the Empire awarded it ceremonially. He also,
is he armed?
From what you can tell, he mainly appears to be carrying large amounts of wood, though you can make out a diktak at his side. He also, just as a sense for the amount of money that this particular individual has spent, he had the full hair treatment, so he is well bearded, very well groomed, and long, luxurious locks, a very full beard. So about this would be the look of the man that you are getting in the distance. He seems to be tending to himself with very menial tasks, carrying wood and placing some in the fire.
That's the only person I'm seeing right now?
That is the only person you can see.
There are 2 tents.
There are multiple tents, yes. But Traven only tells you that he sees the single individual on sensors nearby.
Okay. Nope. Gonna train the rifle on him. Break cover. And call out Shuvno. Is that you?
The man turns to you and looks in your direction. Tilts his head aside for a moment and then looks down at the ground. He makes no effort to suggest that he is remotely concerned or, he makes no play for a diktak, any other sort of weapon. That is a name I do not know. Oh, names,
Then you are of,
yes.
then you are of no use to me.
Oh, if that is your way, have you no name, stranger?
For now, I'll simply accept the name Stranger. Who are you and why are you here?
I do.
All this time, also, I'm still sort of sloshing up through the shallow water with the weapon trained on him.
Gotcha. The rest of you may move tokens as desired, provided you guys can control them, of course. I have a name too. If it's not stranger, it is a bit strange, though. I must think on this with the warmth. The warmth is strange. Do you not agree?
No.
He stretches out a hand over the fire. Perhaps not, then. Where are you from, stranger? Have you a story to tell?
That's about as close as I'm going to get.
Gotcha.
You do not know the name Oshuvno?
Oh. I think closely of the name. The names. So many names with the stories. Yes. I know another name once. Acris. That was a different name. A different story. Different man, yes. Another name of a great story. Koretska. What was that story again? There is a look that could be described as contemplative, but it could also just as easily be, like, spaced out Tabak. As this older man, runs his hand through his beard, stroking through the hairs. What is them? Do you know the story of Shuvno?
No.
He looks
Be quiet.
He looks over to you.
Be quiet.
Oh, sorry, sorry, sir, Lord, sir.
What of your?
I didn't say no.
Okay, what is your name, stranger?
No names.
I'm no names. Yeah, no names.
A most strange set of names. Sits down and he reaches in and pulls out what appears to be he reaches from a barrel that appears to contain a sort of pale blue fish. No names here either. That's willfully given. He's going to pull out his diktak from his side.
He's going to do what?
The diktak at his
Okay, I heard the wrong preposition. I thought you said in, not at. Sorry.
Apologies. He pulls the diktak at his side and raises it to the fish and then simply cuts away the head in a swift stroke. Awfully given. Appreciated. And he just takes a bite of the raw fish.
That doesn't disturb me. We eat gach live.
Different feel. Very strange. Perhaps I shall give names to more here.
I know Traven is behind me, and I just sort of signal him to come up next to me.
Doesn't seem...
Can you scan this fool? See if he seems wrong.
Seems a bit out of it, yeah.
Do it from here.
Okay, I'll see what I can pick up here. He takes another large bite of fish, like chewing, like mouth openly. He's just gonna plop down in front of the fire. I know a bit of this story of this name. Came from the sky. A far place. Yes. Many there. Traven is going to roll reason science. I think that's sensors are a very loose application here. It's more a scanner, but I'll still give it to him in this case. Let's see. Traven is going to say, he seems, from what I can tell, I mean, he's Klingon, definitely, Traven says. Kind of, I don't know. I'm not noticing anything specific here, especially with this ambient interference, not the bit of distance that we've got here. This is strange, like, sort of ambient interference here.
Well, let's do something about that. Keep him covered. And I pull out my scanner, and I'm trying to see if I can locate where this EM field is emanating from.
Yeah. Tabok, give me a... Let's see. You can attempt a reason, and you can use science or... you can use science or medicine for this.
Engineering wouldn't work?
It would not.
Right? Nope, I can't find it at all.
Yep. You aren't certain, Tabok. You were more inclined to look for some sort of device because you figured that this would be the result of like most sort of energy fields you would expect to be artificially generated. There's no signs of any equipment anywhere nearby.
What I was looking for was what I was trying to look for was the center of the field.
Oh, yeah. You can't pick that up. There's no discernible central point, and you just can't make heads or tails of this. You can't wrap your head around it.
I'm not hitting it hard enough to make it tell me the information that I want.
Yep.
Wait a minute, though.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 points of floating momentum.
That you do.
Because I rolled a 3 when I needed a 1.
That is correct.
To see this guy come out of the woods.
That is correct.
That you do.
So I'm going to spend one of them floating momentum to find the center of the Tootsie Pop.
Very well. There is no center. It is an ambient field all throughout the island. through, spreading through, even readouts of, depths of the water. It surrounds you just, in such complete fashion.
Are there any places where where the field density is stronger?
You do pick that up a bit, particularly as a wind blows through the trees. Taybach, it's worth noting that as the light has crested here, as light has crested beneath beneath the line of the mountain on this island, the long dormant volcano, the plant life has really started to come alive, and there are just some dazzling arrays of flowers, mosses, and even tints from the leaves, all glowing a great sort of electric blue. And as tints begin to blow off across this, you see that there's more scattering of, more of a blow across of just seemingly bits of particulate of, think of a dandelion, for example. And when you blow on that, how the seeds spread out from that. So as the winds begin to pick up, there's a bit more of that, and as you reconcile it with the motions, you think that if only you could get through some of this obscurity, it hits you. There is something not quite like a biosign reading like you would have expected it, but there is something, some sort of energy, quite unlike it, to the plant life itself, or to the secrete, whatever the particulate is, as it spreads about.
I hit the button. Jan, emergency transport. Really crank up the biofilters now. The entire landing party.
I'll get. Well, actually, Joe, do you want to try the posh British cat here, or would you like to?
DuPont runs back down from the bridge, their poker game, and aye, Captain, I'll get right on that, sir.
Oh dear, there's a poker game going. You say he's running. You say. That's going to add an interval of time here with this threat, spend, and complication. As the wind, a stiffer wind picks up and blows along.
I spend another floating point to change the direction of the wind away from us.
There'll be 2 points for complication.
I'll spend another point. I'll spend another point, and I'll spend another point after that to get the cat to the transporter room now.
I'll just say, Sean, that's 2 points for every advantage you create. Just to clarify.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That brings us down to 2.
Yep. Yep. So changing the direction does at least send the initial wave away from you, but there's yet every plant is secreting some of this sort of pollen here.
Yep. Again. So, and I got him to the transporter room now.
Okay, DuPont, you have to beam up. You've been ordered to bring up the away team, which
is 5 people.
Yeah, 5 people. Remind me, is Zionel also brought back up?
He was brought back. I don't know. He wasn't with.
He was with Kresic.
Okay. I'll allow.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a reason to stay down there.
Okay. So, let's see then. This is going to be one more task here. I think this will be the task we close out the session on. Joe, for DuPont here, I am going to say that it is a control plus engineering roll, assisted by the ship's... that'll be assisted by the ship's... let's see, that should be sensors plus engineering. Let's double check that before we do anything. Just want to make sure that we have this right here. So
I'm assuming the focus transporters works for this particular
transporters
case.
definitely works, and it is sensors plus engineering. The difficulty it starts at the base of 2, but you are beaming from a location without a transporter pad, and don't roll yet.
Okay.
You are beaming from a location without a transporter pad to a transporter pad, so that means the difficulty goes up to 3. I am using I'm using 2 points of threat to create the scene, or to create a trait within the scene of increased energy interference. I am going to spend another 6 points of threat to max out the complication range. So difficulty 4, complication range maxed out.
So the first die is 1 momentum, and the second die would be 2 momentum, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we only have 2 momentum total.
You
so
can always give me threat.
Okay.
might be worth it this time, I think.
It actually might. He's down to 7 threat.
Yeah, I'll give you one threat for 4 dice total.
Well, that'd still apply on the escalating thing, so that would be either you spend your 2 momentum and give me 1 threat, or you spend 1 momentum and give me 2 threat, just to be above board on that.
Well, because it's cumulative, isn't it? It's
yeah. For every die,
Two-
the price increases.
okay. It's not okay. It's not
Well,
3.
yeah, but if
3
he's
points
spending-
total.
But if he's buying 1 extra die, that's 1 dice. Well, I mean, that's 1 momentum. If he's buying a second one, that's 2. So he's spending R2 and only giving you 1 threat.
Exactly. That's. I was
Okay.
just making sure, because I thought I heard initially he was going to give me the 1 and then only spend 1 with the momentum. Sorry.
Okay. And
It
it's a
happened
complication.
It happened in the Aegis game. I just want to make sure that I'm enforcing the rule across the board properly.
And it's a
Yeah, well,
complication.
we're
It's a
better than
complication of.
Aegis, so.
It's a complication of 5. You said, right?
Correct.
All right. So I'll roll for the ship.
Okay.
Still nothing.
So, difficulty 4, roll for DuPont. Anything else you want to do?
Does DuPont have a value yet? That would apply?
Would I guess I feel we are being intimidated by this gas. So could I use Dauntless?
Oh my
I mean,
God.
Taybach is intimidated, but not really. It isn't really applicable otherwise, I think.
Yeah, that's my only thing.
Yes, but this is an activation, so he could have 1 now. That would apply.
DuPont kind of took the Athena route here and is largely spawned of whole level. Honestly,
Yeah, I see that.
DuPont needs to be turned down. DuPont too strong.
Yeah. DuPont's like a full character.
Yep.
Heck?
Joe, we're gonna have to talk about that later.
I wrote him like I used the app for him.
You made him a full character, not a supporting character.
No, it was supporting.
There's no way that
Unless I-
those stats are supporting
Unless I did
characters.
it. Unless I did it wrong. I might have done it wrong.
Sporting characters don't get a 5.
I screwed up. I probably did it wrong.
Also, DuPont too strong. Wait, how? 12.
He didn't change the complication range, I don't think.
No, he didn't, and so that's the thing I'm going to take here, because I could, since a talent or value wasn't applied here, we could get away with a lot of that. And transporters as a focus he would have had. I would be willing to say that he definitely gets the 5 in engineering as that was the discipline point that was spent here, and we can adjust things later. That 0, however, is a 17 on the die, which does mean that there is a complication. And I think that complication will mean that
will mean that we'll spend more threat to avoid.
Well, I think that is actually a Joe question here. Would you like to give me some threat here? Would you prefer to accept a narrative complication?
Narrative complication, as long as it's a moopsie comes transports on board with them.
Oh, god damn it.
You want something to transport on board
Oh.
with you.
Oh,
Oh
I
my
hate you,
God.
Joe.
Yeah,
I
narrative,
hate you, Joe.
Narrative
Yes.
complication.
I heard something beams up to the ship with you. Understood.
Oh,
The transporter
I hate you.
The
I
transporter
hate you.
beam initializes. Oh, Joe. The transporter beam initializes, and the 5 of you see your fields are a blur of orange and gold and bright, brilliant electric blue. And that is where we are going to leave off tonight's session.